Hi, Casya.
Good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Enjoying this rainy, cozy morning.
Yeah, it's raining a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are
Um,
you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm a bit nervous in some way, and I like it also. Um, yeah, I mean, we came together, so I wanted to kind of talk a bit about you and your work. Um, as we are also, yeah, as I had the pleasure to join some of your workshops as well. And we also shared your work on Harmonic Path platform. And yeah, as these workshops where it took place, the sharing circle worked a bit in this way that, as you said, you open the space, and there should be nothing prepared, but everything what comes is right in the moment. So that's why I'm also kind of nervous because I didn't prepare anything, and I just thought we see what comes up. And as you said, when you feel that you have the stomach, then you need to talk. I remember. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
What is alive now?
I love the question. Yeah, I sent you a message asking, if there's any topic or plan, and you told me, nah, we're gonna do it just like you like to do it, like no plan, we'll just start talking. I mean, this made me feel very excited. And so, now I have that similar feeling that I have when I'm sitting at the circle, like, okay, I'm open. I can feel my body open, and I trust in this unseen intelligence that's all around us. Um, and so I'm kind of in that zone right now.
Yeah, it's nice. What is nice now is that I feel like a unknown situation can be like a bit scary, or as you said, exciting, or no, it's like a bit the same. I don't know how to say feel sometimes.
Yeah,
Um,
anxiety and excitement feel very similar in the body.
yeah, that's so true. And that
Yeah.
then maybe we can also understand sometimes. Yeah, I remember this also in one workshop that I had. I had this fear, and but then someone just reflected me. Maybe you're just excited, and then
Uh-huh.
yeah, I. That's what you're saying. It's a bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what maybe can you tell me, because we did these circles and I really saw, like, we are living in the same community here in south of Spain, and I really saw kind of, I mean, it's for sure not only this, but still that was kind of the maybe one of the red lines where I see that several people really had an interesting development, and also for me I saw it. And I talked also with your co-host. I forgot now the
Ari.
name. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we were. I wanted to know a bit. What do you think happens? Yeah, what happens there? What? I mean, you can also explain it a bit. What we're doing, and then also a bit. Yeah, what do you think is the magic or the?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of different elements that go into the type of circle work that I'm holding. I mean, it's something that I studied, I trained like sort of in an academic sense for a year, where you learn things about group dynamics and the nervous system and trauma, somatic therapy. So there's like a more academic centered body of work that goes into it, which creates the safety of the container. The safety of the container is the thing that allows the more mysterious cosmic aspect to come in. So, like as the leader of the space, like I make sure that when I'm in, like my body is open and strong, and presence is really the thing that I'm focusing on the most, because when I'm fully present and holding the energy in such a way, then it automatically makes the other nervous systems feel safe enough to move with what is really alive in them in that
Mhm.
moment. So it's like in my own system, I'm doing a lot of the work in the background that you guys don't even know about.
Yeah,
And
yeah, makes
then,
sense.
aside from the more academic focused part of it, there's this, yes, mysterious, I would even call it divine intelligence that we invite in. And I can't pretend to understand it. I don't understand it, but I have learned through the years to trust it. What is, what needs to come through will come through.
Um, and still sometimes you help someone in some way. I don't know, maybe someone feels a certain feeling but can't I don't know, access it or let the emotion pass, and then in some way you help. So is this all intuition, or do you have kind of techniques, or is it a mix?
Yeah, I think it's a mix. Um, I'm looking for visual cues from people's nervous systems. You can usually see with your eye, like where there's something stuck, the way they're standing, the way they're holding their body. Sometimes they'll put a hand somewhere on their body, and I know, like, I'm watching every little thing. And then intuitively, I'm always assessing. And again, it's not like coming from the cognitive part of my mind. It's coming from a deeper part of my subconscious, and I just have to surrender to it. So it's like, okay, this person is ready to release something. And so then I ask them to stay in the circle and keep moving and don't stop talking and look around at people. And then something will come through. And then sometimes, we get people that come into the circle and I feel, oh no, like this, they're not ready, or it's not safe for their nervous system. And then, I'm like, okay, that's enough for today. Because we can't push it all the way to the full expression if their nervous system can't handle it. So I'm like looking at their nervous system and feeling into them and seeing if it's safe. And yeah.
Yeah, it's very, for me it was very interesting, especially I think the second one, because we did the first long ago in this beach house, and then the second one was in our local place, and for me it felt like, wow, this escalated quickly, because I came there a bit nervous, and I don't know how, and then I think the first or second person already expressed so much emotions and so strong, and I don't know, it was, yeah, like also very quiet people, which maybe you see normally, and it's and then they have so much, then on the normal day-to-day street, maybe you see like 10% of what's happening in the people. And I felt also how important this is, like this work, let's say, in the community. Also what you're saying, why you do it. That I mean, we are all part of some community. Maybe here we are in certain type. There's other types, but anyway. And I feel this is so valuable to express also these other parts of us humans, because we work and we function, but there's so much more which often doesn't have a space, and it's this is very interesting how the people can really open, and also how then the circle kind of just does something which helps in some way, but there's no coordinate, like what you say, you put the container, but then there's no real coordination, and everything makes sense again if you look back,
Yeah.
like even for example one time my sister was there, and then she had certain experience, and afterwards I noted, wow, that was exactly what was the right thing for her, even if she didn't go to the inside, and yeah. So how do you feel about this, like because you started it with a certain reason, and I remember that you shared it in the circle. Maybe you can share it again. What was your, like, why did you start this kind of sharing circle here in the community?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this type of thing, it doesn't have to be a sharing circle, but some kind of a space where people can feel totally safe to show up authentically and meet each other in that space of total presence and total authenticity, what that does is it creates an intimacy. And intimacy is the life force of creation. And for any kind of community, I think something like this is absolutely vital to the health of the community. And I just enjoy sharing it. I love doing it. It reminds me that magic is real. It reminds me that every single person that you see walking down the street has something that they're holding. And actually, if you boil it, the human experience down, we're all experiencing the same basic emotional landscapes. We all feel rage, we all feel joy, we all feel love, we all feel grief. And this is a way to remind each other that we're all the same, and we can, with our nervous systems and with our presence, help each other to continue moving through the emotional waves of life. Because the sort of dis-ease that occurs in our world, which can be, just somebody being depressed at home or a war, I believe that this is all started from the stagnation of emotional energy. So if I have the ability to hold a space for emotions to keep rolling and keep moving, then I want to give that, and I love it. I absolutely
Yeah, it's nice. And you said something about that intimacy is the life force. Can you tell me what you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean,
because intimacy feels so much more like I shared with my partner, or like what do you feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, the word intimacy, I think, people have different definitions of it. For a lot of people, intimacy means like sexual or physical relations. For me, intimacy you can be intimate with a stranger in line with you at the supermercado. Like, intimacy is just like, I'm really showing you who I am in this moment. I'm not hiding it. I'm not pushing it down. I'm just really showing you where I am. And this creates, like, you can actually feel it in the body, at least I can. Like, when somebody's being intimate with you and you're being intimate with them, it awakens all the energy through the chakras. Like, things can start moving. And when that life force moves up through the body and into the heart and into the brain, this is when, like, human creativity comes online. This is when we can totally relax and tap into our deeper knowing, you know? So...
this is beautiful, yeah, because I remember when I was younger, I was not so authentic. For example, I remember a little thing, like we had this little house animal, I don't know, like a little, I don't know, guinea pig, I think it's called.
Guinea pig.
Yeah, and it was like, when I was young, it was mine, and then I became a teenager, so I didn't care so much anymore, but then I was alone at home, and my parents were in the holiday, and he, in some way, I don't know what happened, he got paralyzed just by, I don't know, and then he needed to get this death injection, And then I was there with my grandfather because my parents were on holiday, and then I went into this doctor room, and the doctor, gave and I knew I need to cry, and so I said, I go out, but so I left him alone, in this situation. And then I tried to stay strong all the time. And then when my grandfather brought me home with the car and left, and I cried for 3 hours. And I was so sad that in this moment I didn't, like stay there and accept that I will cry, but I want to be the strong guy. And since then I always thought my goal is to be inside and outside the same. And I feel it's so much nicer, the life, if this is at least close enough. Like, the inside outside, it's not always the same. But like to... not have this kind of barrier in trying to, I don't know what, do some impression of someone or hide,
Yeah.
So I feel this what you say, that it's that there is moving something, and then Yeah, and I remember, because you said this before, you also did this project because you said this is in the small case, like in the community, in the depression, but also like global, let's say, or more in the war. And you also did this project with you remember where you did the crowdfunding? Can you explain a bit what this
Yeah.
project was and how it developed?
Yeah, sure. So the project is called Healing Voices for Peace. And this idea came to me during the height of the war between Israel and Gaza. And, we have so many Israeli people in our community. I also have friends who are of an Arabic origin. And I, was really feeling their pain, like just this anger, this rage. And through the months of the war, I was really noticing that their rage to me felt more like grief underneath it. And as a student of grief, I know that grief is actually just love. If we don't love something, we cannot grieve it. And so I had this idea, thinking about how can we solve this massive war that's been going on for decades, really. How could we actually solve the problem? Because politics don't work. We've seen it. And nobody seems to have a solution. So to me, I wanted to do an experiment. Like, can we bring people together? We brought people from Israel, we brought Arabic people, and we brought together Russians and Ukrainians all to the same space for 5 days. And my idea, my hypothesis was, if we can ignite their rage and their anger and allow it to move, we will get to grief. And if we can grieve together, then we can get to love. And this was my goal, and we actually achieved it. It was the first day or two of the retreat was like so tension. People didn't trust each other. They didn't feel safe. So really the first day or two, I was just, the only thing I was doing with them is creating safety. Holding the container, holding the space, just like we do in Circle, but like on a bigger scale for 50 people.
And also with more really deep emotions, and like there's so much. I imagine that was there was a lot of energy. I imagine, to hold her.
Totally. It was like a full body experience for me for 5 days. Like I couldn't rest. I was holding. And then, on the second day, people started to get angry, like some of it was directed towards me, like, why are we here? Why are we doing this?
Oh, I imagine.
There was anger between some of the facilitators and the team. I could feel the anger starting to rise. I could feel it in my body getting hot. And I said, okay, this is good. This is exactly
this is amazing. You know how amazing this is, just a little, because I see it in work or so many places that if this feelings comes up, everyone is more, let's control it. It's nice if we have this other view on it to say, okay, it's just it's a messenger or a process, or
no, it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. So on the second night, we had a cacao ceremony, and I was just sitting back and drinking cacao and observing. And as I was drinking the cacao and I could feel it moving through my system, I started to get angry. Then I was like, oh yeah, because as the lead facilitator of a group in any kind of situation, even in a business situation, the state of your nervous system is informing or sending you a signal of what's going on in the group as a whole.
But so also in the other direction, or
it goes in both ways. So if I show up, depressed or anxious, everybody in the field is going to feel it. So that's why it's so important to take care of your own nervous system as a facilitator. But I felt myself starting to get angry. It's not even important why. I was angry at this person, angry at that person. I felt like the rage going through me, and I was like, aha, here we go. So sure enough, in the morning, the next morning, we're about to gather in the circle, and I could feel my body like vibrating and shaking, and I was like, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. I even went to the cook who was preparing breakfast for after the circle, and I said to her, we're not coming to breakfast. I'm sure of it. And I had no idea what would happen, but I just knew something was going to happen. And sure enough, we started the circle, and this beautiful Palestinian woman came into the circle. Rage, like she expressed, she was so brave, like full body rage and just expressing it. And everybody was like, oh no, now I have to feel my rage. And so all this rage came through. And I allowed her rage. The emotions usually come in a wave. So the wave goes up to the top, just like a wave in the ocean, and then it comes back down. So I would just let her stay in there. And she got all the way to the top. And as she started to come back down, she started to sing. She started to sing a very sad sounding song in Arabic. And the grief then started to move. At this moment, I could sense that a lot of the rage that was in the circle was like against men, actually. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's not important to like cognitively understand why. I mean, but in my understanding, it's like men are the ones that start wars. If women were in charge of everything, like there wouldn't be these wars. And it's like this, it's this masculine energy, this distorted masculine energy that does these terrible things. And we all have that energy inside of us, but I just felt in the moment that the men had to leave the circle. So I kicked them out. I was like, the men, get out of here now. And this caused a huge, like, the men were angry at me for kicking them out and hurt. Like that this sort of mother figure at the retreat kicked them out and banished them. And then the women suddenly felt very safe. And the women all came into the center of the circle, every single one of them, like 25 women, and started to grieve together, crying and wailing. And then I think the vibration of our emotions sort of attracted bees. A beehive was nearby, and all these bees started flying into the circle and stinging us.
Oh, wow.
Which was magic. Because we got stung by a bee, and then we would cry even more, and we just kept crying and crying. I mean, it must have gone on for 2 hours, this grief circle. It was the most beautiful thing.
Wow, but what did the men do? Like, was there someone to hold them, or were they just...
Yes.
But this is crazy.
Yeah,
it's very moving. Yeah, no, I mean... Because, like, then when you tell it, it's, you know, now it's all done, but being there in the moment and... not knowing what happens and
yeah, it was cosmic, really. Like I didn't even feel like I was in this world. There was a divine intelligence. You can call it God, you can call it something, but it was orchestrating the whole thing, and I was just tuned into it and making it happen, like using my body as a vessel for the directions of what to do. Yeah, so I kicked the men out, and we had my facilitation partner, Nir, who's a man, he took the men away. And I only heard later what they did. And yeah, they had a rough time. You know, they started their own process about how can she kick us out? You know, she's supposed to be taking care of us. So they were projecting onto me this mother archetype. And our mothers kicked us out. And somehow she expects us to figure out, you know, what we're supposed to do. But in the end, they figured it out. And they had their own circle, their own process, where they were working with rage. And this kind of dark masculine energy. And then they sent a messenger later, hours later.
But so just to come, you said on the other, like on your in the room, then you said that all the women came together and expressed their sadness, and this. Then you said the bees came in, and how did it, like then slowly it could come to a. I don't know how did
Yeah,
you
so the
continue?
bees, yeah, if anybody had been holding back any emotion at that point, the bees made sure that everybody was just crying. And so I mean, we were grieving and screaming and wailing. It felt like for every woman and every child and every war that has ever been. You know, for every person who's had to remain strong or silent because they were literally trying to survive, we were processing their grief for them. And so eventually that wave of grief came back down. And it came back down into love. And every woman there, Russian, Ukrainian, Arabic, Palestinian, Israeli, every single woman there was in love with each other by the end of it. Like holding on to each other, kissing each other, hugging each other, like completely bonded in the deepest way I think that a human could be bonded. And we eventually invited the men to come back down.
With the messenger or how? You said
Yeah,
there
I
was.
told the messenger, okay, you can come back down, but come quietly. And the women sat in a circle, but facing outwards, locked in their arms, like one unit. Like we are together, we are strong. And we invited the men to come down, and they came and circled around the women, and we could feel like a slow softening begin to happen, because we felt safe with each other. And slowly we broke the circle up and started mixing with the men and moving with them and even dancing with them and bringing them into our field of love. And the men started to feel it too. Yeah.
But they also like, so because you said the anger, so was there also this grief moment for the men, or how did this
Yeah, I mean,
evolution?
I never got like really the full story of what happened in their circle. But when they left our circle, they were angry. And when they came back, they were grieving. So somehow they got there. And then by arriving back and us embracing them, they came into love.
Yeah, it touched so many things. Like I just because this is, you say that if women would rule the world, this would not happen. Like I feel sometimes that women can, what is the metaphor that there's maybe a spider or like this intriguing a bit. I see this a lot also with women, no? So I mean, maybe you say they would not start a war. Is it like how? Like, maybe you can explain a bit more. At least your experience. At the end, it's just a perspective. I don't know really.
Yeah.
And I feel also like, I mean, I also, as a man, you go through things, and what is man? I was in one Haka workshop, which was very profound for me, and that was exactly like identity. And then what is a man? Is a man like this strong, or is it like a poet? What? And then it's all, it's not just, it's all, and the force is also, it's also, I mean, let's say to hunt or to protect from a danger. So, I mean, the force is also necessary. And sometimes, as you say, rage is also important to go through, So I just would like to know: is war? I mean, I know that, but is war really just so one-sided? And is it really that just male energy makes war? I don't know. Maybe you can explain a bit.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to, I guess, I want to distinguish between males and the word masculine. So we all have inside us, whether we're a man or a woman, masculine and feminine energies. And the masculine and the feminine energies can be on the light side, which is the positive attributes of those energies, or it can be on the dark side, which is the negative aspects of those entities. So, I mean, in general, if you're a biological woman, you tend to have your feminine traits are more pronounced, and males tend to have their masculine traits more pronounced. Of course, there's exceptions to this, but in general. So I see war as being a direct consequence of a distorted dark masculine energy. And yes, that distorted masculine energy can occur in women as well. But it's more dominant in male-bodied humans just because testosterone, probably. But I think that when we can all, male or female, ignite these more feminine energies, what a side effect of that is when we see someone suffering, starving, we won't allow that to happen, because this sort of motherly archetype is awakened in us. This is pure light feminine energy. It doesn't matter whose child you see on the side of the street. If you see a child on the side of the street injured or hungry, you're going to take that child and help them. And so why is it that we can go to these wars and starve thousands of people, or send suicide bombers into places, or drop bombs on cities filled with children? Why are we not feeling that energy within us? And I think that if we can awaken that light feminine energy in the men and in the women, in everybody, it's like war just becomes something that's impossible. Like I could never hurt a child or an innocent person if this energy is awakened in me. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I thought also a lot about this. I see it, how can I say, like neighbors get such in fights, or in small things, and sometimes I feel, because there's so much, like we're so components, we're like made of so many components of our experience as kids, and so many things. So I don't know how to say, like. I feel, yeah, okay. I mean, it makes sense if there could be a lot of like, cleaning, or I don't know, letting go or something. But I just want to know. Like, I see it with boys. Let's say little boys. They take a stick and they like to hit each other with the stick. And I like it also in the way that when I grew up, I felt it was a bit more that you should not do it, because you should not be violent or something. And now I feel also with my son that it's also nice to let this energy like go, and not, no, don't. So maybe you can say like how, because I feel it's all part of something.
Yes, totally. I love this. Yeah, I mean, like little boys playing rough on the playground. Like, to me, this is the healthiest thing in the world. It's when we shout at the boys and tell them, no, that's bad. You can't be like that. And we make them stop, or we punish them. That's when the energy, the masculine energy, begins to get distorted and dark, because it becomes repressed. It's like, oh, I'm not allowed to express my masculinity, so I'm going to push it down. And then over the years, it becomes very dark and very distorted, and finds a very unhealthy way to express. Because whatever we don't express, we repress. So it's like, yes, if you feel aggressive, go play aggressively. So this is why it's so healthy to express every aspect of your emotional landscape as much as you can. Like if you push down joy because it doesn't feel safe to feel joy, that will also become distorted. It's like when we're born. This is the explanation my teacher Christian Pankhurst gave me. When we're born as babies, we're all fully formed, fully expressive human beings. A baby knows what it wants, knows what it needs, and asks for it without thinking. I need food. I'm cold. I need a hug. Babies are fully expressive. And then what happens is, when they're 1 year old, 2 years old, they start to learn from their parents, their caregivers, from their environment. Oh, if you act like that, then you're going to get less love. You're going to get less attention. So at that very young age, we start to repress certain aspects of who we are and what we need. And by the time we enter school age, we've already torn apart our psyche, our humanness, and we've blown up these expressions because they get us more love, and we've pushed these ones down because they make us lose love. And then we become, like a splintered human. And these repressed things that we push down, they will always find a way, sometime in life, to make their way back out because they want to be expressed. But if we don't do it in a healthy way, this is where the unhealthy obsessions, habits, addictions, violence, this is where they all come from.
And I have two thoughts about it. Like the one thought is, for example, I read once about the Chinese premier, for example, that he grew up very poor in a very poor surrounding, and so his thing is to avoid that, and so I see this on so many things that. And I can also say this in a personal experience because I was 6 weeks early, so I was 3 weeks in the incubator. Oh. And now that Milio was a home birth, I saw how different it can be, being close to the mother all the time. And I was not with the mother because I was in this box. It made me survive. So, but just to say, and now some month ago I was in an ayahuasca ceremony, and I saw in this ayahuasca ceremony, I saw some things in my life which really was like making. How can I say, like a big line in my life of things which happened, so moments which I kind of created, which brought me in this similar condition, like alone and heartbroken was and then I where's the root, and I came back to this moment where I was kind of alone and heartbroken in this box, because the mother was not there and so on, and so that in some way I created in my life I repeated this situation to maybe feel it again or feel safe, because in some way, or to let it go or something. But I saw that some parts of my life was really, and no, it was no one's fault, or maybe I don't know, but I don't think that it's no one's fault. So how, what I mean? Like you know a bit what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
So
actually.
how is this? Like, is it not maybe all part of a big mosaic and we don't understand it because we try to this is good, this is bad, or.
It's like, okay, so first of all, the things that happen in our first 2 years of life they set the baseline for everything that happens later in our life. And we don't remember them, so we think they're not important, these moments, but they're actually super important. Thank you for sharing about yourself as a baby. My son had the same situation. He had some kind of problem in the first few days of life, and he had to be in a box, an incubator. And what I see in him now, he's almost 7, is that his nervous system, in one sense, in those first very important days, he learned how to self-soothe. He's very good at self-soothing. Like if he's upset, like he can make himself very calm without help from me. He's always been like that. Because in those first days of life, if he was crying, there was nobody there to hold him. And at the same time, he has this very, very deep fear of being left alone. He's never been left alone except for those days, but he can't relax if he's in a room with the door closed by himself. It's like he's like, I need somebody to be with me right now. So it's like those first days or years of life, your nervous system develops then. And it's very difficult the older we get to change it. So I think that our subconscious looks for similar situations because they're familiar. It's like you
Yeah, yeah.
said that you feel lonely sometimes, and maybe you're creating that because it's what feels normal.
Yeah, that was it came really to me in this moment that because in some way what they say also that, you know, also if someone treat you bad, maybe as a kid, then you feel that this is safe in some way, or love. I read sometime. Yeah, so yeah, what became before. So I mean, what you do as a work, I don't really know, like what it, maybe you can say also what you do as a profession, because it's all related to what we're saying, no? And what is the, yeah, yeah, I don't know how, yeah, maybe what is the work, and how do you put it into the concept what we said, you know?
Yeah. So right now I'm primarily working one-on-one with people that are experiencing infidelity in their marriage. So it's the people who are actually doing the infidelity, and also their spouses who are trying to heal from it. And so I'm working with both sides of the couple individually. And I think infidelity, even though it's a very difficult and sad topic, it's not usually about the infidelity. It's about the very early traumas in childhood and the attachment patterns that developed in the nervous systems. That nobody commits infidelity just because they think it sounds like a good idea. It's a much deeper part of themselves that they're not even conscious of, that is somehow pushing them to do this. And so my work is about going really deep into their past and into their shadow, which are the aspects of themselves that they cannot see, and try to understand, like, why did this actually happen, and how can we heal it? And it's usually about healing the nervous system. Yeah.
And I remember you did also this group sessions, like I think similar than sharing circles, I guess. What was this about? Also similar work, let's say.
Yeah, I facilitate all kinds of group experiences. I mean, I facilitate plant medicine ceremonies. I facilitated an incredible retreat that was all about death. I do things where you're basically activating your inner strength and your inner knowing somatically through the body. Yeah, so I mean, I have like lots of different tools in my toolbox, and I'm pretty much up for anything. And interestingly enough, I find group work to be so much more powerful than one-to-one work. So I'm trying to move more towards the group work as much as I can.
And what is your experience with the, let's say, also the one-to-one and the infidelity, as you said? Like, is it then also, I mean, I imagine that sometimes the couples can come together again, sometimes maybe they will also split up. I guess it's all, can happen, everything, or...
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, when they enter into the therapy with me, they're there because they want to stay together, you know. So
Okay.
that the goal is always to try to find a way to allow them to stay together. But yeah, sometimes it's not possible, or we discover that maybe they were never really the correct people for each other to begin with. And then some people just aren't ready to do the level of shadow work to heal from something like that.
But I see it also with me. I mean, it's so much work and lifetime and different things. No, like, I mean, as I even don't know, like, how can I say, for example, I did a therapy with a therapist when I was, let's say, 10 years ago maybe. And then I did, for example, sharing circle with you, I did a Haka workshop, I did ayahuasca medicine. And all is like putting together, you know, and helping me more and more. Like, one thing alone could not solve, because I feel that what you say, infidelity or all partnership or whatever, it's all based on so many aspects. So how do you see it? Like, can you sometimes really feel that you can release some things and then they go alone, or how, or is it then that they need other things as well, or how, you know a bit what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I do not follow any kind of a formula. I don't ever know what's going to happen, just like in the circles.
Yeah.
But I look at each client as an onion, like you peel back the outer layer of the onion and then you can see the next layer. And then you work with that. And then we peel back that layer and we keep going until we get to the place where they're feeling 100% authentic, expressing authentically. And once you get to that, then if this couple can stay together or not, because they're being authentic. And they can feel it.
Okay, and I have two questions, but one is like, does it also make sense to start earlier, or is then the pain not big enough that the couple would start? Because why does the kid need to fall into the, how is this in Germany we say, where you take the water out, like, why does it need to be already the infidelity happening that we start? Is it that before the couples think it's all okay, and so they won't, like with medicine or with the health, that it's better to, like, how to like, instead that,
to prevent it.
To prevent instead of that, or to like work before, eat healthy so that you don't get sick, instead of wait till you get sick and then work. I mean, sometimes it needs maybe, but how do you feel about this?
Yeah. I mean, infidelity is not the problem. It's just a symptom.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So I think the disease, if you want to simplify it for every couple that I work with, is a lack of intimacy. That's the problem. That doesn't mean physical or sexual necessarily. It means I'm not being authentic with you. Yeah. And so when over the course of years, if you're not showing up authentically, if you're not really expressing what your needs are because you're scared or for whatever reason, then you get further and further apart, and then suddenly this part of you that is so desperate to feel good finds a way to feel good. Sometimes it's infidelity, sometimes it's alcohol, sometimes it's eating. People find their way to create the chemicals in their brain to make them feel better.
Yeah, I can relate very much to it, because it's also not so easy. Like, I remember also in my relationship, maybe in the earlier times or whatever, like sometimes when you say something or you express a desire or something, it can hurt the other person so much that then it's so hard to like continue it and not go into the more easy way and just not talk about it anymore or something. So I find it sometimes so difficult to like to feel in this safe zone that you can, say also, and then hold maybe also the emotions of the other partner, which are a bit upset then, and not feel guilty, or I don't know. It's a tough one. No?
Yeah, and nobody teaches us this stuff. We actually learn as children and teenagers how to repress our emotions. Nobody teaches us how to feel them, how to hold space for others, we don't know the most basic things about our own nervous systems, which it's really simple. Every single teenager should be taught this stuff. And then suddenly you have this opportunity to be able to hold space for your romantic partner, or for your friends, or for people you work with. And then people feel safe to express, to be authentic. And this, to me, can prevent so much pain in the world. Yeah. So the infidelity is just like one little piece of everything, but it's all the same. Addiction, war. I think it all comes from the same place. Yeah.
Yeah, now comes another question, but I want to ask first one question, like, how did you come to all this? What was it, an own experience, or just did it happen over the years, or you know, how did you start your work and how did it develop a bit?
Yeah, I mean, I have a really, like, I could write a book about my spiritual journey, which really started, when I was around 20, traveling with a backpack around Asia and stumbling first across Buddhism. I was really suffering back then. I was very unhappy. And somebody told me, go to this retreat center. It's at a temple in the jungle in Thailand. And I had no idea what it was. I just knew that I had to go. And I just followed my intuition and I went. And it turned out to be a 21-day silent Vipassana meditation retreat.
And you never did meditation before and you start right to the...
21 days in a cell, locked in a cell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was hardcore. It completely rocked my world and changed me forever. I'm so grateful that that person sent me there. But yeah, then I started becoming really interested in Buddhism and studying it. And I went to the Himalayas, where I was living in Dharamsala, which is where the Dalai Lama lives, and it's kind of the center of Tibetan Buddhism. Started studying Buddhism there, getting more into like this meditation path. And then through the years, really started going deeper into the Tibetan community and the Tibetan cause. I got an idea to start the first Tibetan women's football team. Tibetan refugees living in India, they're not allowed to wave their flag in Tibet. They're not allowed to have a picture of the Dalai Lama. They're not allowed to be Tibetan anymore because China invaded Tibet. So there are all these refugees living in India. And I got the idea because there was already a men's football team traveling around the world representing Tibet, which is like a huge act of political, nonviolent protest. So I said, well, why aren't the women playing football? Like, I couldn't understand it. And I was a big football player when I was younger. So I started the first Tibetan women's football team. And I was living there in the Himalayas for 10 years total. And what happened is when I was training the team and building this program up, I saw that the problem wasn't really football. The problem was trauma. They were all refugees. A lot of them had come to live in exile when they were children and left their parents and had no contact with them. And there was a tremendous amount of trauma there. At that time, I was not trained in trauma in any way, shape, or form. So I figured out, with no resources, how to help them. And what I figured out was what I call the medicine of love. I would have like 30 young women, all with post-traumatic stress disorder, and just me holding the space for them. And I learned how to love them. And I learned how to be present with them. I learned how to use my body to make them feel safe. And it worked. It started to work immediately. And over the course of the years, I mean, they went from being so traumatized they couldn't even speak to like being so outspoken and telling their stories on international platforms. And so without any trauma training or pieces of paper, I just figured out the most important part of facilitation, which is presence and an open heart and an open system. So after I left India, I decided, well, maybe it's time to get some real training in this now. And that's when I started doing all kinds of different training and different types of therapy and facilitation, and learned, the more academic side of things. But after all these trainings, what I have come back around to is the thing that I learned in India, which is the medicine of love, the medicine of presence is really the only thing that is needed.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice, because also this was a bit my question I had. Like, what do you like? I don't know how to say. It's not like what do you wish for the world, but what is, maybe it's this, no? I mean, maybe, but what comes sometimes to me is, I don't know what. Let's say I see a homeless on the street and I feel sorry, but I also don't feel that I really want to get involved, because I'm scared, what comes out, and I know also that people, who have alcoholic problems or something, it's such a deep thing, and you can't really just solve it by, it's such a big, so how, I don't know how to say, like you can't help everyone, you cannot, or maybe you can, I don't know, like give your love to everyone completely, or how do you feel about, like, also for the, let's say, vision, but also daily life,
Yeah. So, I mean, it would be really easy to say, I just want peace and love for the whole world. But, and I do, of course, but I don't think that is why we're here. It's my spiritual understanding that our souls have come here in this time and space to experience the full range of the human experience, to learn and remember who we actually are on a soul level. And we learn that by going through challenges. I don't think that we can experience ecstatic joy without experiencing ecstatic pain. It's this dualistic existence in this realm that we're in. We have to be able to suffer in order to find God. You don't get to just skip to the love and the light. But what I would like is for there to be a rapid acceleration of how many souls are able to remember their true nature, which is God, which is love. And I think the way to do that is by starting a revolution with our children, teaching children about the nervous system, teaching children that it's okay to express yourself in whatever way is there, the good and the bad, be angry, be sad, be happy, be joyous, be all of the things. And this will allow them to move through their soul's journey at a faster pace. And just be more compassionate, I understand what you're saying about like the homeless guy on the street, and like, there's a part of me that wants to like give him $100 or something. But then, it's like, oh, that's just going to make it so he can buy things that probably aren't good for him, and it's not going to solve his problem. And I think that compassion can actually help people. Humanity. So like stopping with that guy on the street and just putting your hand on your heart and looking at him like he is a little boy or a lost soul, and just, I'm with you, man. Just like a look, eye contact can be more transformative than anything for people. So just, teaching compassion and the ability to hold space and to accept people for wherever they are in their journey. I think that this is the revolution that really the world needs.
Yeah, I mean, this connects also to what we started with the sharing circle. That I liked it what you said, that we're all medicine for each other, just in how we are. Like that, it's not we need to do a special act or something. Just as we're there, and everything what happens is already the medicine. And I feel a bit like this. Maybe this is what you say, that we can be like this if we are in some way open, or I don't know, that then we can just be, and it's not always really an action needed. Sometimes then it will feel that, I get it, it's nice. I like it. We can bring it up. Maybe what I wanted to ask, two things. Like one, I remember, is there a video of this Voices for Peace, and will it continue the project in some way, or maybe you can share this?
Yeah, the whole thing was filmed, and there's going to be a documentary made. I mean, it's in the process right now. These things take a very long time.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out of my hands right now. But there's something being produced to show
Nice.
the world. Yeah. You know, just to show on this small scale of 50 people that we were
What
able
is
to move.
possible? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's very important. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I'm looking forward to this. And yeah, you said you're working with infidelity. How do the people contact you? I mean, we could also integrate that in the platform because we didn't, but also other ways. Like, do you have social media, or I don't know, how do you work normally?
Yeah, I have social media. I'm not like super active on it. People just they find me. I get a lot of referrals,
Okay, nice.
and they, you know, I'm also, you know, I don't work just with infidelity. I've been doing a lot of work with people on trauma, you know, like PTSD kind of things, big traumas, anxiety, people that just feel really anxious and worried every day and they don't really know why, and we can find the way.
Nice. And I
Yeah.
feel also like with this circle, like I don't know why, but because I'm also like in my work, a lot of work with teams and so on, and I feel always that this work could benefit a lot of companies. I don't know if you're doing it already or open to it, but I feel that could be an interesting path.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I've never done it, but I've always thought about doing it. I mean, everything that I do can be adapted. It can be adapted to a business environment or schools, you know, teenagers. It can be used in any environment, and I think that it would just make any kind of organization so much stronger. It would probably make the profits go up, you know,
Yeah,
or the
because I
learning
feel like
goes.
if what you said, intimacy makes creativity, and I feel it like if there is a kind of safe space and good energy, then there's more ideas. So it's also benefiting, let's say, that part, but also like just the good feeling how you enter in a room, and yeah. So I
Yeah.
feel there's a lot of a lot of potential. Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah,
nice.
yeah. I mean, and you can see it in corporations. And I mean, I have a friend who he works for NASA, you know, and his job is to get the scientists to connect with each other. Why do they care about that? Because it actually makes their brains more powerful to
Yeah,
do all
yeah,
these
absolutely.
crazy things they're doing. Yeah, and
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's like that. As you have a computer, it needs to be cooled down so that the energy can flow. And it's like this. No, as more as we can reduce the friction, the more the energy can flow to all the brains. And yeah,
yeah.
yeah, cool. So I wish you all the best. And very curious what will happen, where your street will develop. And let me know when is the next sharing circle.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's time to schedule one. I had a nice little
Yeah.
break for the holidays,
Yeah,
but
yeah. After Christmas, where everyone goes home to the family and comes back, there's a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominic. It was a pleasure.